Yep, that SpaceX IPO is huge. They set a fixed price for the SpaceX IPO. Usually with IPOs, they set a range between this price, this price. They're still figuring out demand, but they set a fixed price of $135 per share. This 555 million shares, a $75 billion offering size. This is the biggest in history. Biggest in history. It would value SpaceX at 1.75 trillion. It would actually make SpaceX the seventh biggest company in the United States, actually bigger than Tesla. Tesla has a market cap of $1.6 trillion, expected to go public on June 12th. The symbols for SpaceX, SPCX. Okay. I'm going to go through, okay? And I haven't fully gone through the entire prospectus, but this is the most important part of any IPO, any deal. Use of proceeds. How is the money being used? Over the past 10, 15 years, maybe a little bit more, we've seen many companies go public when the basic thing is the private equity, venture capital companies just laddered these things up for years and years and years and years and years. And when they went to the public marketplace, basically was there just to get out earlier investors in the company. I avoid those deals like the plague. I do. Some of them over the long haul can work out, but what is going to happen is you're going to have the price drop. Tesla is a good example of this. Actually, not Tesla, excuse me. Uber is a good example of this. I remember having this conversation with people. Uber, didn't make money for a very, very, very long period of time. And you're going to take a look at that stock price and the history of it there. And again, when it goes public, excitement. And then again, people are getting out. You got to get out those venture capital companies. In this case, okay, yeah, you might see some people selling. Yes, but the use of proceeds from this is going towards SpaceX. It's going to fund its growth strategy. First and foremost, okay, it's going to expand its AI compute infrastructure. This is a major priority. Part of the XAI merger integration, they're going to be spending money on data centers, GPU clusters, Colossus, other AI capabilities. Again, where are they putting these things? How are they doing it? Again, Musk, I got a sinking suspicion, has got something up his sleeve in regards to putting these things in space. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that anytime soon, because we know that everybody's spending a boatload of money on the AI build out. But some of the reality is right now, it's difficult to get these projects off the ground. Myriad of reasons. Getting a lot of NIMBY right now, not in my backyard when it comes to AI data centers. And I get that. I do. Other use, enhancements to launch infrastructure and launch vehicles, accelerating the Starship development, testing, production, and achieving high flight rates for Mars missions and other deep space goals. All this stuff I would file under NITO. Okay. Freaking cool, man. Anybody who's watched the SpaceX launch, everything that they do, the catching the rock, all the stuff, it's pretty phenomenal. It's really fantastic stuff. How do you make money? And that's again, earnings matter. Earnings matter. People are going to say, okay, we're doing this. This is great. This is cool. Okay. How does this help the bottom line. This next part, I think, could be enormously profitable, increasing the scale and capacity of satellite constellations, expanding Starlink, broadband, and mobile to grow subscriber numbers, improve coverage, and increase revenue. That's key. That to me, and I've said this for some time, how many people out there actually like their provider? I have ungodly amounts of phones and whatnot on my our service, our cell service plan, and without fail, every single time I have to go into the, I mean, I use Verizon. I go in there, oh, congratulations, we could be saving you money. Well, why hadn't you done this? I got to like hire somebody to manage my bill, and again, all sorts of problems and issues. And oh, I got to get somebody on the phone because I'm going to be in Europe, and the Europe plan only works month by month. And again, I'm like, why can't you make this better? I've used Starlink's internet on a remote island, and it's, well, not say remote, on a, middle of the Mediterranean. It works. It's pretty neat. Again, they're going to have to up the speed to some degree, but it can be hard to compete with that. Really is. You actually have service anywhere on the planet. And again, the last thing, general corporate purposes, working capital operations, other needs. Again, they are heavily investing in capital intensive areas. Okay. Good use of proceeds. Again, I haven't fully gone through the IPO, mapped out what I think is going to happen. Let me, and I don't have any shares of the initial public offering. I think I've explained this here before. We at Markowski Investments, we're not buddies with the big firms. They hate us, quite frankly. And, well, it's going back to our days of just selling IPOs on the first day when they pop to ridiculous valuations. What do you want? You want me to hold this thing? Okay, the owner of the company wants to take it public at 50. It's at 75 in the afternoon. And I'm not going to say, hey, all right, let's take the money and run. I'd be stupid not to do that. Why wouldn't I? The owner of the company thought his company was valued at this, okay? And you're telling me it's worth that. Something's amiss here. And again, I understand how the game is played. But anyway, neither here nor there. Probably what we'll end up doing with this, like anything else, is watch. Amazon, for example. Let's go back to the 1990s. Again, Amazon was at a different competitive landscape at the time. I don't know if it's a great comparison, but it's a comparison. You got obviously what just happened with Bezos's situation with the fire and what happened there. And we don't like to see anything like that. This is kind of pretty much the only game in town. But I didn't know Amazon was going to be a winner. Who knew? It sold books online. Everybody was selling. Oh, I'm going to sell CDs online. I'm going to sell toys online. I'm going to sell pet food online. Everybody's selling something online in the 1990s. Bezos figured it out. Bezos figured it out. You could, take a look, go back then and look at the volatility in that stock in the 1990s. We got in, just not at the beginning. Again, didn't sit well in my stomach at that point in time. Done well. Done real well. But anyway, I'm going to kind of watch and see as this one, what's going to transpire with this first. There's going to be another side thing I want to talk about when it comes to this. Quite honestly, I don't think anybody's talking about this. Could these, and I'm not just talking about SpaceX, I'm talking about you got Anthropic, you've got these other AI companies that are going public. Could that basically be a nail in crypto? Could massive offerings that are out there, and there's only so much money to go around. It is what it is. There's only so much money to be putting in these things, and we're watching. Crypto is continuing to slide. You're going to see people out there say, hey, this is my speculative money in crypto. Maybe I'd rather speculate on rocket ships and AI rather than made up money. I think there's some of that could be in the cards. I'm just saying, only so much money to go around. You got a lot of speculative players out there saying, hey, you know what? I got to make a choice here. Do I want the made up money or do I want rocket ships? And I think you're going to see many of them decide on the rocket ships. Just saying. WatchDog on wallstreet.com.